Going on Algebra 1, we are going to start 4.2 today. So last time in 4.1, we graphed our systems of equations to find the intersection where those two lines crossed. That was the solution. That point was the solution. Now we're going to use substitution. So we are going to pick one letter or one variable. There's going to be a top equation and a bottom equation. There's probably going to be an x and a y. And in both of them, and we are going to pick one of those letters to get by itself. So we're going to try to move everything over to the other side and get that letter by itself. Once we get that variable by itself, we're going to plug it into the bottom. So if we get x from the top by itself, we're going to plug it in to the x on the bottom. And then we're going to solve for that variable. We're going to plug in the value into the equation. So we're going to plug in the answer. So once we find the answer in step 3, we're going to take that answer, we're going to take that number and plug it right back into the original equation. And then we are going to solve for the other variable. So let's take a look here at our first example. We have the system y equals 4x plus 1 and 2y equals negative 6x equals 6. We have a blue one on top and a green one on the bottom just to help you visualize it. So looking at the top and bottom equations, are there any variables that do not have a number in front? Yep, y is by itself. It doesn't have a coefficient. And also, it is already by itself on the left side, so we don't have to move anything over to get it by itself. Remember, step 1 was get a letter by itself. So we already got a letter by itself. Now we're going to take what it equals. So we're going to take this 4x plus 1, and we are going to plug it into the y of the other equation. So we're going to take this 4x plus 1, and we are going to substitute it in right where this y was. So instead of 2y, it is now 2 times 4x plus 1, because we said y is the same thing as 4x plus 1, so we can just interchange them. So now we have 2 times 4x plus 1 minus 6x equals 6, and we are using the green equation, plugging in with the blue equation. Now we distribute, so we have 8x plus 2 minus 6x. We just distributed that 2 equals 6. We're going to combine our like terms, so 2x plus 2 equals 6. Now we're going to try to solve for x. So we are subtracting 2, and we have 2x equals 4, divide by 2, and we have solved for the first variable. Now once we solve for that first variable, we're just going to plug it back in to the other equation. So since we use the green equation for this one, we're going to take this 2, and we're going to plug it back into the blue equation. So instead of y equals 4x plus 1, it is now y equals 4 times 2 plus 1. And as it turns out, that equals 9. So our solution is the point. Remember, points have x values and y values. Our solution is 2, 9. Here we have a new system. Still got a green equation or a blue equation and a green equation. Is there any variables that are already by themselves? Nope. Is there any variables that don't have a number in front of them? Yes. This x here in the green doesn't have a number in front, so we're going to solve for that x. We're going to get it by itself. So how do we move a negative 6y over? We are going to add 6y right here. So now we have x equals 6y minus 5. And once we get that x by itself, we just plug it into the other equation. So we're going to plug that green into the blue equation. So since x is by itself, we're going to plug in 6y minus 5 into where the x was in the blue. So instead of 6x, it is now 6 times 6y minus 5 plus 5y equals 52. We are going to distribute right here, so we have 36y minus 30. We still have this plus 5y equals 52. Combining our y's right here are like terms. We have 41y minus 30 equals 52. Move the negative 30 over, so we got to add it, do the opposite sign, and now we're going to divide by 41, get the y by itself, and y equals 2. So once we have solved for a variable, so we use the blue equation, we're going to take this value and plug it into the other equation. We're going to plug it into the green equation. So instead of x minus 6y equals negative 5, we took y and we plugged in a 2 for it. So now we have x minus 12 equals negative 5. We're going to add 12. We're just solving for x, and x equals 7. So here's our x value, here's our y value. Our solution is 7, comma 2.